Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and I am here with my brother.
Hey everybody, I am Eric. We are so glad that you guys are here joining us for our Friends Rewatch Podcast. If you tuned in earlier this week, we had our first 2-episode podcast. We were usually doing 4 or even 8 if you go all the way back to the beginning. But now we're cutting it down to 2 just to do a little bit more in depth with them and also give you a few more Friends episodes through the week.
That's right. Yeah, and we really appreciate your support, your comments, your likes, and anything you want to reach out about giving us feedback is awesome. So, today I just want to first remind us of where we're at in Friends. So in our last episode, we talked about Joey building an entertainment unit that was way too big. Phoebe's brother Frank, played by Giovanni Ribisi, spends the weekend, and the gang makes freebie lists, and Ross has an opportunity to hook up with a celebrity, which does not go as planned. During a flashback to 3 years earlier in another episode, Phoebe is moving out of Monica's apartment without her knowing it. Joey moved in with Chandler. Rachel runs into Monica and Chandler at Central Perk before it was Central Perk and it was a bar. And Ross found out that Carol is a lesbian. So it was a lot of stuff in that flashback, but it gave us a lot more context into the current episodes, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. And it ended up getting a 9.0 on IMDb, which is the second best episode that we have seen so far, which is great. And it was one that I truly enjoyed. We usually do all 4 of them. Like we've done 4 episodes before in the past. If we had done all 4, I think I still would have had that as my favorite amongst the 4.
Yeah.
But I do really like some of these ones that we're about to talk about today.
Yeah, for sure. So today we're covering season 3, episodes 7 and 8.
So let's jump into season 3, episode 7, which is the one with the race car bed. And in this one, Joey starts teaching acting classes, but gives intentionally bad tips to a student to try to beat him in an audition. And he ends up losing to his own advice. Ross begrudgingly agrees to go on a dinner with Rachel and her father, who makes the experience awful. And when Ross tries to correct a tip, he ends up paying for it dearly. However, the two connect over making fun of Rachel later. Monica buys a mattress from the Mattress King, Janice's future ex-husband, and it ends up being a race car bed. And when Joey goes with her to return it, he discovers that Janice is kissing the king.
Oh no, not good.
Not good for Chandler.
No.
So, where do you want to start here?
Well, I guess, what are your thoughts on, how long did it possibly take Phoebe to help Joey with getting the ice from the freezer to help him with his nose?
Yeah.
Did they have no opportunity to check that the Mattress King guys were bringing in the actual bed? I just found that whole scene, you'd have to just suspend your disbelief like crazy. It's like, come on, Phoebe.
It's it's a little bizarre, right? But to me, that scene is classic sitcom, right?
Yes.
They do one thing and it completely takes their attention off of camera. So while they don't know something is happening, the audience gets to see the big mistake happening right in front of their faces.
Oh my God.
And they don't know it till later.
It's hilarious.
To me, the big part about the race car bed being in there is they said, oh, you can't return it because we signed for it.
Right.
First of all, Monica, that's not your middle name. And we know that right now. Second of all, you signed for it before you even got to see it. How is that real? That's
right.
What sort of kingdom is this? This is outrageous.
Well, I will say it could be because also they were going out of business. So wasn't he like getting rid of
Go ahead,
everything? Wait, what?
Oh no, that's just.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, it wasn't like
just
it going out.
mattress sale. Listen,
Oh,
as a person who spent some years working in a furniture company that will remain unnamed, these are the types of things that the furniture company people put out there to like make it seem like
no, you're
it
right.
is such a grandiose sale that we're losing all of our merchandise. Yeah, no.
Yes. No, you're right. You're right. For a second, I had a moment thinking about that commercial. I'm like, wait, he was going. No, that wasn't it going out of business sale. So yeah, it's that was such. You're right though. That is classic sitcom for sure. And I also just always love the scenes with just Phoebe and Joey. I have to say, the fact that she legitimately like punched him twice in the nose, though, like what's going on?
I keep
like,
saying it.
She was not kidding.
Phoebe's from the streets, okay? Look, this is she knows how to punch better than Joey does. Like, Joey is an actor, acting like a boxer. Phoebe has done some stuff in her day that we find out all about as we go through this whole series. But yeah, in fact, she even mugged Ross at one point.
Oh, that is a great plot twist there. It's like, wait, what? So another thing with this episode is as you mentioned, the exchanges between Dr. Green and Ross. And I've got to say, the more I've seen this episode, the more I understand why Mrs. Green referred to Rachel's dad as her Barry. Because it's like, at first I'm like, yeah, it's kind of harsh. And it's like, wow, yikes. Like, what an ass. I mean, this guy, between the 4% tip when this guy, I mean, he's clearly rich. I mean, that was the whole beginning of the series when Rachel's being, cutting up the credit cards and not using daddy's money anymore. It's like, and this guy is super stingy and just how much of a jerk he is to Ross. I mean, I get it. Some dads like will haze the new boyfriend and give him a little hard time. But I mean, this kind of went beyond that. And he just seems like such a jerk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
I did not expect you to take the Mrs. Green approach here, but I understand it fully, right? That is spot on. I am too busy worried about Ross.
Yeah.
And I think it really hits home, and he's trying. Now, as the guy who has met the girlfriend's parents, a few times, that is always a tough spot to be in. I've never had a dad or mom make it as difficult as Mr. Green does here for Ross. This is brutal. And I mean, it's just, I feel bad for Rachel when she gets in the spot where she's like, I've already got to put my mom in one room and my dad in another room. I can't put you in a third room too. You're just going to have to do this. You have to work it out. And I hear that. And I understand that is really the driving force here. Yeah. Unfortunately for Rachel, she catches the strays here, as that's the only way that they can kind of bond over Dr. Bobby and her leaning on one leg, on a short leg. But I have to ask this. Have you ever put extra tip down on a bill that someone else is paying?
I have not.
And
I don't think I've
not like, hey, I'm gonna do this, you're taking care of the tip. That's an agreed upon situation. I'm talking about, hey, this person didn't pay enough. Like, I am too type B personality to even think about doing that. It's just not even in my wheelhouse of thought.
I wouldn't even, I just wouldn't look at what someone paid.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of also our upbringing. Like, you don't look if someone else is paying, like they're just
paying,
taking care of it.
it's
Like,
on
we don't
them.
look at the money, right?
No,
It's like
they're doing it. Thank you for that.
yeah. Yeah, so I think that's part of it because I wouldn't want to almost even have that in my mind, right? It's like, so I wouldn't have even had that opportunity to think, oh, I should throw that down. And even then, yeah, it would just be too weird. Um, I feel like more than anything, I would maybe, if I felt that bad and I did glimpse something where I felt it was really stingy, I would probably just either go to the wait person directly and try to just give them a little cash or like go back the next day. I don't know if it was that big of a deal to me, you know what I mean? But yeah, because that would be very weird, especially, oh my goodness, like your significant other's dad.
Oh, just
Oh,
no chance am I doing that. Like,
no.
I will feel bad that happened, but there's no way that I'm going to try and step on that person's toes to correct an issue.
Yeah,
Comment section, put it out there. You let me know if you would.
yeah.
But boy, that feels like a situation where you are opening a can of worms that you don't want to open.
And listen, I get it. It's a sitcom. They have to just kind of move things along from that. But I'm thinking like this is then the next day that he comes over for brunch or lunch or whatever. And I feel like a situation like that, I don't think that's quite just fizzling out yet. I mean, he kind of brings it
Holy
up,
smokes, no
but it
way.
is someone like Mr. Dr. Green, this would not I feel like he wouldn't have even shown up. You know what I mean? I don't know, but maybe it's because obviously he wants to see his daughter.
Yeah.
He just strikes me as then
The
someone who would
irony,
hold a massive grudge too, you know?
well, I don't think it's awkward for him. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
Like
I guess
he does
this guy.
it's not an issue
Yeah.
because hey, he got dinner paid for now.
Mhm.
Like now Ross is taking care of it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um and when I guess the irony, I don't know. When he shows up at the brunch the next day, he's immediately far more personable.
Mm.
Like he says he's the one that opens the door because Ross is like rubbing his neck and
Yes,
he
yes.
says something like, he's like, what's wrong? And he's like, oh, she's trying to get me to go to the chiropractor.
Yes.
And the whole thing goes from there
Yep.
sideways for Rachel, positive for Ross though.
Yes.
And if you're Rachel, you got to swallow that one. Like, this is working out well. You have to just deal with this.
Yes. 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 Did you see us? Did you see? Yeah.
Maybe you should tell him about this mole I haven't had checked out.
I
Excellent.
excellent. Yes. That is a really funny, like how that flips around. It's like, yeah, at Rachel's expense, but you know what? She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. I do like
Another weird moment. I gotta go to this.
yeah.
I'm gonna go to the Mattress King.
Mhm.
Okay. But not the end.
Okay.
The time when Monica and Phoebe are there testing the beds.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Monica and Phoebe show up. They're testing all these beds. There's a kid all by himself driving the race car bed. And Phoebe approaches the child and says, you know, if this were in England, this bed would be on the other side of the showroom.
Oh my god.
And I just think to myself, Phoebe, are you just going up to and talking to random children who don't have parents around?
As a
Like,
woman,
there's,
it's I mean, I might say something
as
to
a
a kid.
guy, I would never do that.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like as a like if a kid was I don't know. Like it you have to read the room, but
I
I feel
would
like
be taken out in handcuffs if I tried something like that.
no, it's true. Yeah, I get that. I get that for sure. I feel like it is a little bit different, right? I mean, as a woman, I think it's not I mean, still definitely awkward. Also just awkward that the kid is there by himself.
Also awkward that he doesn't respond at all.
At all.
Has no lines.
Yeah.
This kid.
Yeah. You know what? That's pretty funny. And thinking about then Joey witnessing Janice, kind of at the end of the Mattress King sequence. Witnessing Janice kissing her ex, it's like when they go to return the bed. I mean, man, I was kind of going to bat for Janice before, because I like her character, and I still feel like, listen, she's conflicted as they get to at the end, of this
At the end of the next episode.
The next episode. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like they're okay. She has a family. She was married to this guy, or she still is married to this guy, but poor Chandler. You just obviously, as watching this episode, we're just thinking about Chandler too. So not good.
I thought it was smart to have them write it so that Joey's the one who found out.
Yes.
Because at the beginning, Joey is the one who has the hardest time with with Janice, and so now Joey, who didn't like Janice in the first place, doesn't want to have to tell Chandler that what he saw is what he saw.
Yeah.
And it shows that Joey has kind of come around full circle on Janice being part of Chandler's life. And now where he would have relished the opportunity to break them up a handful of episodes ago, now is very disappointed that he has to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah. Oh, I did have one question for you.
Sure.
About the kind of going back to Dr. Green, and I was thinking about how weird is it that we never get to see the Greens and the Gellers together on screen. Like, Dr. Green, they're mentioned by Jack Geller and Judy, but you never actually see them meet. And I feel like, don't you think this is a missed opportunity?
All four of them?
Yes.
All four of them?
They never meet. And I did confirm this because I was second guessing. I'm like, did they ever at a wedding or something? No.
So, that's exactly what I was going through, but they wouldn't have. They would at Ross and Rachel's wedding,
right?
Which is
we never see.
Not a thing that we ever see or even know about, but I would assume that that's where it went.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess that's probably right.
I feel like that would have been such a funny episode. Like, there would just be, oh my goodness, I think that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, they don't do it in the past. They don't do it at any Thanksgivings.
Right, like
that
a holiday.
That is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and I guess because I had to just triple check so I looked it up to make sure. And it's the fact that Rachel's parents, even though because we've rewatched it so many times, it feels like we kind of know her parents pretty well. Like, her mom was really only in it, I think, for 2 episodes, and her dad maybe one more, maybe 3.
Yeah, I think they each get a handful of episodes at most. The Gellers are in it every season.
Yeah, right. Yep. Straight to the end. They're in it.
All the way through. Yeah.
So I just had to ask you about that, or see if you knew that as well. And another one of my observations with this episode was because the whole Joey being a teacher just kind of cracks me up.
Yes.
And I just thought, isn't it funny that Joey was actually a teacher before Ross?
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought it was funny that also in this episode, Ross says to Joey, you can't sleep with any of your students.
Oh, me
and I'm like,
too.
Hey, Ross, remember that in the future.
Kind of like, can't dip your pen in the company ink.
Yeah, Ross, what's with this advice, man? Come on.
Ross is, listen, I love Ross. He is probably my favorite character overall, but he is a huge hypocrite. He is super problematic, but it just...
I will say Ross was never my favorite character to start. But as I have rewatched it many times, he's grown on me quite a bit.
Yeah, he gets a lot of hate.
I would say he does get a
He
lot
does.
of hate, and I mean, I get it, I guess, but I always was a much bigger Chandler fan.
Oh yeah.
And I think if you watched the whole thing cover to cover once, Ross might not be your guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the more times you go through it,
Yes.
you start sympathizing with him a little bit more and a little bit more, and it's like, oh, this guy just can't catch a break.
No. Well, and he's just so ridiculous, and his physical humor and just his whole personality, the way he phrases things, I just find him hilarious just with with his normal lines. So
well, I think you watch it for me, watching it through the first time, Chandler was always my guy. He was always the funniest one. I thought he had all the best jokes.
He does.
He does.
Yes, he does.
But Ross gets more laughs from me long term over the little iconic, like, just ways he says not jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just simple lines that he brings out.
And the crazy circumstances he gets himself in as the episodes progress, when he's just really down in the dumps and I can't catch a break. Like, he is just,
I know.
He just becomes a total disaster, which are the funniest episodes with Ross. They have not even hit our screens yet in this rewatch. Yeah.
Not in this rewatch. I do like the scene when Joey is trying to justify giving horrible advice to this kid
Joey.
who's going for the same audition. No. And he's like, but I really, really want the part. And Phoebe responds with, well, if you really, really want it, then it's okay.
And Joey even knows.
That made me laugh.
I love it.
Joey's like, yeah, all right, I get it.
Phoebe's so good.
But that's a nice little
moment.
So now we'll jump into season 3, episode 8. This is the one with the giant poking device. Joey has to break the news to Chandler about Janice, and he doesn't want to accept it. When he confronts her, when Chandler confronts her, he ultimately decides that he needs to bow out with some help from Joey, who explains that Janice has a kid with her husband, and they have to take a chance on being a family. Phoebe is worried that when she goes to the dentist, she might kill someone. And in this case, there's concern that it's the ugly naked guy. So the gang devises a poking device. Monica and Rachel watch Ben, and Monica accidentally bangs his head against a beam, and the girls try to keep Ross from finding out. Yeah, let's start with the Joey and Chandler and Janice of it all. And, just like I said in the synopsis, the one thing that I want to hammer home again, so glad that it was Joey that found out. So glad that he had to be the one to take on the mantle. And again, we get to see Joey in that moment where he's trying to stop Chandler from buying Janice an expensive present. Yeah. And he tells him why. Chandler doesn't want to believe him. And Joey has to take on this, like, very responsible, true friend role of, listen, I'm trying to look out for you. I don't want to tell you this, but this is what it is. And it's not the first time we've seen Joey be that guy. We don't see it often, right? The last time I think about him talking to Monica about going to the sperm dome.
Yeah.
And so we get this moment from Joey every now and then where when the chips are down, he kind of steps up and makes a good call. And I love that about it. Love that about you, because you never really expect it out of Joey, because he's just the fun-loving goofball. But when he brings that out, it's great.
Yeah, for sure. And you see that when, like, his sisters come into the episodes more too, where he's just a really good big brother. Like so I think that side of him comes out, because Chandler just means so much to him. So at first I think his first reaction is, why do we have to tell him? And but then he really does. He knows that he needs to tell him. It's like before he goes and, like you said, buys some expensive jewelry. He's got to do this. And then he those words of wisdom. Listen, she has a family. You don't want to be that guy splitting up the family. It just
No. And that's got to resonate with him.
Exactly.
He knows. And he
Yeah.
even says this, like, I remember being in that spot. Like, his family, his parents were divorced. And no matter what that guy did, like, it didn't matter how happy he made my dad.
Yeah.
Which is a little funny. But, like, that idea that he's had to now deal with a step person, maybe, coming into the fray, and knowing that was the person that ended that family is rough, and he doesn't want to be that person for this kid. I will say, it was funny. I watched these episodes just the other day, in preparation for this, and immediately afterwards on our Instagram, I got like a clip of Maggie Wheeler, who plays Janice, talking about this episode. And she was talking about how this was one of her favorite episodes to do. The scene where she's got to like blow into the bag with Chandler.
My gosh.
And so she's like hyperventilating and moving around, and he gets her the bag and it's got a receipt in it, and she takes it out, and then she's blowing in the bag. And I guess in one of these scenes, she had the bag up to her mouth, and Chandler grabs the bag because he's like, I'm going to need a real answer this time. And it like popped.
Oh no.
And I guess one of the takes is still like part of this. And she's saying that she's just got the bag pulled up to her mouth so tight because she is laughing hysterically. Like trying not to break the take for Chandler. But she's just hiding in the bag, basically. And she's like, it was one of the funniest days that she had. So I thought that was funny that it happened, that I happened to catch that clip of her specifically talking about that scene the day that we're going through, or the week that we're talking about this episode, which is really funny.
It's because we're being watched.
Maybe.
Big Brother people.
That's what I'm saying. I knew it was on my television and put it right on my phone immediately. I'm not going to question these things. Everybody else can do this. My phone heard it from the television, and so it started populating clips. Whatever.
These are not coincidences, people. Yeah.
It was worthwhile, and thought it was very interesting. Anytime I get like clips of that from the actual actors talking like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
I have to say, I had a moment there where I'm like, wait, Maggie Wheeler? Because we're watching Stranger Things as well. And I'm just thinking the Wheelers. And I'm like, wait, is she who's Maggie on Stranger Things? No. Okay. Yeah, that's Janice.
No. Yeah. I have that name right?
That's
I do,
great.
don't I? I'm pretty certain. Did I misname her?
Is it? I don't know.
I'm looking. No, I'm right. I'm right. Maggie
That's
Wheeler.
just a coincidence. Hello. Yeah. That is just pretty funny. Yeah. And I mean, just also after that scene where he decides, after talking to Joey, that he's got to just end it, and they're at Central Perk, and he decides, he's being very level-headed about the whole thing, and he's like, he doesn't want, she's got to go back to Gary, so he doesn't split up their family. But then immediately he backtracks. He's like, after she's saying, well, I just need you to know this is like movie star love, our love I'll always remember you and always love you, Chandler Bing. And he's like, don't leave me. Don't leave me. I was just kidding. Like, I want to stay with you. And he takes her shoe, and she ends up hobbling out with one shoe.
Personally, in that scene, when she's like, Chandler, people are looking. And he's like, I don't care. And he turns to like this crowd of people who's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
And he's just holding on to her legs and steals her shoe. Oh, that is super funny. Very
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
Well done. I love Janice. I want her to be in more episodes.
I know.
And she will be. And she'll be back. But anytime her and Chandler are interacting, it's always a good time.
How's my bingaling? Yeah. But also, one other point with this episode, as we were talking about, this is where we have Monica, and Rachel. Well, it's supposed to be Rachel babysitting Ben. And, and Monica ends up playing airplane with him and hitting his head on one of the beams, which I have to say, those beams, they permanently disappear before season 4, by the way. I had to look this up because it's always been one of those things that I've thought about and it bothers me. They come and go. Like for the first 3 seasons, sometimes the beams are there, sometimes they're not there. Honestly, I never even really noticed them until it's this episode where there's like an incident, right?
Well, there's also like then a post that Ross runs into that is definitely never there.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Like it's on the way to the door. I'm like,
yes.
Where does this post come from?
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. This like post that's part of this like beam structure, and apparently they.
But are the beams on the other side? Or they take them out too?
It's kind of like we're like showing each other through the camera what we're talking about here, people. But yeah, there's sort of, you have the post and then the beam. To me, that's how I'm describing it anyway, is above it and it's attaching these 2 posts.
Yeah. So they take the whole thing out though.
They took the whole thing out. Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it's like during these first few seasons, they kind of appear and reappear. But it's because it would get in the way of this boom mic, and it's sort of like it was just in the way. They didn't make any sense.
Why would you put a random singular post in the way of where your cameras are going to be rolling? Like that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So that had to go from a production standpoint. It makes sense that it had to go. For this episode, I also thought like Monica throws him up like a little bit in the air. And then Monica throws him up a little bit in the air. And then she throws him like ridiculously high in the air. like on the 3rd throw, you threw him through the roof.
And that is also so not Monica, I feel like. Like that was a little bit out of character. She's very hyper vigilant with everything. So I'm like, come on.
Just Monica playing that game in general.
The whole
feels like a mistake.
And that whole plot, like even, her them putting the hat on Ben, like that seemed like a good solution because Ross isn't gonna, take the hat off pretty much immediately. So I just thought that was ridiculous. And just the whole
I do like when they rip the head off Rainy Day Bear and they're like, it's like a bloodbath in here.
Yeah, that is like probably one of my favorite lines. I know. But then the whole part where she's trying to tell Ben not to say Monica bang because he's saying, but then she proceeds to reinforce bang because so she's taking her head and banging it against the beam, and I'm like, what? How is that helping? Like, if you want him to say other things, don't keep saying the word. Like, that's not gonna help at all. And
no, that made no sense.
No sense.
As someone who's in education, you want to reinforce the things that are good, that you want them to know. You don't reinforce the thing that you want them to forget. That doesn't make any sense. No, it's not Monica's finest moment. Not gonna lie. Throwing kids' heads off the wall, and she's banging her own head against the wall. And yeah, it's not a great Monica look here. Although I do like when Ross does eventually put 2 and 2 together, figures out there's a bump on the head, and we come back at the end, and he's going to Rachel like, hey, listen, I'm just telling you just got to keep your eye on him all the time. She's like, I did. I saw Monica throw him against the beam, basically. And he's like, oh, Monica did it. And you get this moment here where Rachel clearly breaks. Jennifer Aniston breaks during this scene where
Yes.
he says something like, I was just talking to Ben and we were going through the alphabet game and he's so good at it usually. And they just started skipping E and F like they just fell right out of his head. And Jennifer Aniston just like turns away from camera and buries her face into Ross. And he just keeps on chugging. And then he walks away from her and then she's kind of like off camera in the background. And you can see glimpses of her just laughing hysterically, thinking this is the funniest thing, and just hoping that Monica and Ross don't lose focus on the scene. And they don't, and they hold it together, and it's very good.
I know. I love that when he's also walking kind of funny, and he starts like walking in little loops. I'm like, oh my goodness. And Monica, of course,
leg's moving faster than his right leg.
Oh my God, I wrecked your baby. That was so mean. But yeah, that was probably the best part of that whole sequence there, for sure.
Well, it was probably, just the funniest part of the entire episode. Because this episode was less funny. I mean, because it was a lot about Chandler and Janice and like the emotional stuff going on there. Because the Ross, Rachel, and Monica storyline with Ben, it's like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
And then we also have the Phoebe worried about the dentist and making the poking device, which is also like 2, maybe 3 scenes. Everything in this circles around Chandler and Janice.
Well, and I immediately thought of you with the title of this episode because I know how much you love when the title has to do with like nothing with the episode and it's called The One with the Poking Device. And it's like, that really was just this totally you could just lift that part right out, right? But
you really could. Like, I mean, I'm not going to lie.
I love
Giant
it.
Poking Device is funny. It is a funnier title than some of the other ones that they could have come up with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like there could have been better options here. So that giant poking device takes like, and it's a weird thing because clearly they're not reaching this across anything. Like they've got this big thing. It's probably like 10 feet long, supposedly made
like
of
how
chopsticks.
Close are these
to
buildings?
Which I say, yes, but Joey went in the drawer, got like 9 chopsticks out, and then they constructed this 12-foot thing of chopsticks. And again,
they get a lot of takeout.
It looks like a pretty big poking device, right?
That does.
But most of it is on their porch.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get it across the. How far is this out?
Well, and they're all having to hold it up from the other balcony. And I think my favorite part of this whole thing is where Phoebe's like, he's alive, like Frankenstein, it's, that's for sure so good.
I like the end of that when they're like, oh, now he's showing us his poking device. And Joey's that's not going to reach all the way over here, buddy.
No. No. Oh, God.
Okay, so now we're going to jump into our IMDb segment where if you haven't listened to our earlier podcast this week, we are changing things up a little bit. Since we're not covering 4 episodes, now we're covering 2. What we're going to do is we're going to pick our favorite episode. We're going to give them our ratings and try to see if we can get close to what they rated them. But we're also going to give you our favorite and least favorite character of these 2 episodes combined, which is what we tend to do for our Stranger Things episodes if you've been following along with them as well. So, what do you want to start with, man? You want to do favorite character or least favorite character for these 2 episodes?
I will start with my favorite character. My favorite character for these is Joey. I feel like for reasons that we're talking about, where it's like he broke the tough news to Chandler and gave him really good advice. I feel like that was a really important moment for Joey's like character building in the series as a whole. And yeah, that was a good bonding moment too for him and Chandler. So even though that was a difficult situation, he was there for him. So yeah, he's my favorite. How about you?
Okay. I really like that pick. In fact, I almost want to change it, but I'm not going to. I am going to take the other side of that and say Chandler's my favorite character for this episode. And remember, we're doing both episodes combined. Chandler in the one with the race car bed, outside of like pretending to be on the race car at the end of that episode, I don't know if he really had like a big defining moment in that one that I can remember too much of. But the way that he handles this Janice news from Joey, the way that he then has that confrontation with Janice. This is a guy who has had a hard time having commitment, being in a relationship. So having that hard conversation, then making the decision, hey, if they have a chance to be a family, I have to be the mature one to step down here. All of that awesome. And then also the way he tries to flip it on its head at the end is one of my favorite scenes from these two episodes. I think that is super funny between Chandler and Janice at Central Perk. So yeah, I'm going to take Chandler as my favorite character here.
Yeah.
How about your least favorite?
So my least favorite, as I kind of pointed out during our discussion, I am just not a fan of Dr. Green. I felt like he is my least favorite character in these episodes. He was just such a jerk. And again, like I said, I feel like I could see why now Mrs. Green classified him as being like her Barry to Rachel. Because yeah, could totally see it.
That's not who I wrote down, but you're probably right.
Well, hey.
But he does come around at the end.
Well, who stuck out? He does. But yeah, but at Rachel's expense.
He does come around.
Yeah. He's still being a jerk.
Now listen, the person that I have written down, I'm going to stay with it. This is what I wrote down, so I'm sticking with it. You're right. It probably is Dr. Green, because this person's not worse than that. But I'm going to say my least favorite is Monica.
Okay.
I think the scene with Ben is out of character for her, as you said. I think I'm just going to, if it's ever going to be a least favorite for me, it's usually when someone is doing something that they don't typically do. Like, this is not who you are, So her going through all of that and throwing stuff on the bed, then also going behind Chandler's back and trying to get a mattress from the mattress king. Like, now granted, it led to them finding out what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But like, she's only in it for the deal.
Yeah.
Like, even when Janice is there complaining about it, she's like, hey, for $4.99, those babies sell themselves. Like, forget your divorce.
Although I have to say,
yeah. Come on, Monica.
Although I gotta say, the fact that they like needed to be like not shopping at the store because of this connection to Janice also seemed a little bit extreme, but maybe that's just me. It was like,
listen, she's part of the gang. Well, not anymore, but she was for a moment.
Suspect.
So I'm gonna stick with Monica. I have Chandler as my favorite. Monica is my least favorite, and you have who again?
Yeah, so I have Dr. Green as being my least favorite, and my favorite was Joey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's get into these two episodes. I'll go first here.
Yes.
I think for me, as much as I do like the one with the giant poking device, the one with the race car bed is funnier to me. I think that one is a better. The stuff with Dr. Green makes it awkward and weird. Joey teaching is not exactly my favorite moment, but it brings some really cool, funny quirks throughout the whole thing. And the race car bed stuff is silly, but classic sitcom, as we talked about. So I'm going to say that one is higher. If you want me to give them numbers,
what's your rating?
I don't. So like the one with the flashback, that was a 9. That's the second time we've seen a 9 or higher. 8.9 is the average. I don't think either of these are the average. I think the one with the race car bed is going to be like an 8.4. And the one with the giant poking device is going to be like an 8.3.
Well, I know Eric. Eric really likes to guess what the rating is going to be. Just putting that.
I do. I'm not putting my. I'm trying to be accurate.
I'm saying what I rated. I noticed that.
Well, you know what? I'm rating it that. That's what I rate it. But I'm not gonna say like I rated it 2. I know it's an 8.9.
Rate it what
Like the worst one is a 7.6. I'm not going below that. Oh my gosh.
I'm saying, listen, I have these like on the lower side as well as far as Friends goes. Listen, you guys know I love them all. But for me, I am putting the one with the race car bed slightly lower than the other. So I have the one with the race car bed at an 8.2, and I have the one with the giant poking device as an 8.4. And
That's basically what I said. And you're chastising me for my number.
No, I just think it's funny the way that you phrase it. I'm just giving you a hard time. But yeah, so I do, but I thought you had it the other way around. I thought you liked the race.
I had the race car bed at 8.4 and giant poking device at 8.3.
We have them flipped.
We have
them flipped. Okay,
yeah,
what do the people say?
By a tenth of a point.
I gotta know. What do the people say?
I better be right. We're gonna find out here. There's a lot on the line. A lot of pride here. So, this is episode 7.
Are you gonna be able to sleep tonight?
Hey, listen. I'm gonna say this. We're close.
Oh yeah.
Episode 7, the one with the race car bed, 8.1.
Okay.
The one with the giant poking device, 8.2.
Oh my. Okay, slightly higher. Okay.
Giant poking device, slightly higher, but again, we both, when it's all said and done, we both have them being notably less than average.
Yeah.
Lower end of the 8s, not in the 7s.
No.
Like for a Friends episode to get in the 7s, we got to get to fake Monica again. And there were a couple, not in our previous episode this week, but the one before that, there were a couple that got into the 7s.
Yeah.
And when that happens, like stuff's gone wrong. Something has gone weird. In the story.
Yeah, for sure. But I was actually more surprised by those than the one with the fake Monica. That one we were like, yeah, that makes sense.
That one is bad. But, yeah, I'm actually starting to get to the point where I think that is going to be the worst episode.
I think so.
Of all of them.
Right.
And I won't be shocked if it is.
I would not be shocked.
But for what it's worth, last week when we were talking about it, was the one with the jam where Phoebe was following the Ursula stalker around.
Okay.
And the one with the metaphorical tunnel where Chandler's getting over his fear of commitment. Both of them clocked in at 7.8, which is not a whole lot higher.
No. Yeah, that was surprising. Yeah. Especially the one with Chandler in the metaphorical tunnel. I really liked that episode. I was surprised that one hit as low as it did, but yeah.
And to me, it's like, I really enjoyed David Arquette.
Yeah.
But I know that storyline was weird.
It was weird. Yeah.
And so anytime, Phoebe always seems to be put in these weird guest star storylines. And she wasn't in this one, and that's why she was my favorite in not this episode, but our previous episode this week.
That's right.
And yeah, so now we're on to bigger and better things. Next episodes, we'll see what shakes out. So thanks so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. If you could, please follow us on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube channels. We really love you guys checking in with us weekly. And if you could just share this episode with one friend, it would be really greatly appreciated. If you could check out our website, werunonreruns.com. We have our podcast hosted there every single week. For Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching Friends episode 9 and 10, 11 and 12 for next week's season 3 rewatch episodes. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.